I stupidly let my hair air dry, and now I have what I like to call cave woman hair. Did you ever watch that episode of Buffy where she drank beer? Beer Bad, the episode was called, and she turned into like a cave woman. That's kind of where my hair likes to take its inspiration from. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you've got a coffee because that's kind of the thing around here. I always like to start off these videos with a random little thing, so you'll probably have seen a little montage of what I was doing this morning, so making coffee and just in the living room. But I also love to start off with apologies. So apologies that my hair is such a mess. I dyed it yesterday, did my roots and everything, and then decided to go and clean out my garage, so let it air dry, and this is the state that we're in. But the good news is when I was clearing out my garage, I found my tripod. So I hauled my tripod upstairs because I live in a flat, and then this morning I went to set it up and realised that I've lost the hot shoe. So you're held on to the tripod with an elastic band. So hopefully this isn't going to fall down. It seems pretty secure, but if the camera starts to tilt and then everything goes to hell, is it my fault? If you're a regular viewer, welcome back. If you're a new viewer, hi, my name's Sam. I'm a writer. I write young adult and fantasy fiction, and I've got 4 books that you can buy out at Amazon at the moment, so all the links will be down in the description, and I've also done a video per book with a brief explanation of what the book's about and all of that jazz, and you can find the playlist for those videos up here in the card, or down in the description, or on my channel. I'll see how lazy I get when it comes to editing. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about how I got into writing and just my history, because why not? I like to learn about how other people get into writing, and it's just a fun thing to talk about when I'm doing these random just videos about my life as a writer. So I know a lot of people, when they talk about how they got into writing, say that they were super into writing when they were kids and they've been writing since they were like 5 years old, and I'm not one of those people. Unfortunately, I wasn't great at school, mostly because I just didn't get it. So I was always like the art kid. I loved doing art and I loved to read, so I read a lot, thanks to Goosebumps and Point Horror. My childhood started off in a spectacularly like imaginative fashion and probably that's why I'm a little bit strange as an adult. Anyway, so yeah, I wasn't great at school, and so I didn't really follow the route of loving doing work and writing and all of that jazz. As much as I kind of did always have ideas for books and stuff, it never occurred to me that that was the sort of thing that I could do. I have undiagnosed dyslexia because they didn't diagnose girls at school, and as I've gotten older I've kind of realised that I am pretty much 100% dyslexic, so my time at school was kind of really difficult and nobody knew why. I don't think people outside of myself and teachers thought that I was finding it difficult, but I just didn't get it. I just didn't get school. It was just not a time for me to be learning and figuring out how to apply myself to anything other than drawing and painting, because that's basically all I did. All of my teachers lent on me to follow that path because it was the only thing that I could focus on, even though my art teachers didn't like the stuff that I did. But you know, I was like the art kid, which I loved, and I still love painting, I still love drawing, and I wish I did more. So that's kind of my life through primary school and high school and A-levels. That basically took me up to 17, where I just did art instead, and all of my other grades were just abysmal, and I never thought about writing. So what happened to me was after high school and A-levels, I didn't go to university because like school sucked. I hated school. I didn't understand why anyone would want to go to university. And so I didn't. I got a job straight out of school. Well, I tell a lie. I bummed around for about a year. And then I got a job, I mean this is years ago, I hardly remember, with my dad I think, in my dad's office, and then as a waitress, which I did for years, and then in a huge office like place that is like one of the biggest employers in my area. So I kind of followed that trajectory, which was great because I was banking money. And if you are somebody who doesn't know what to do after school, high school, and you're worried that the only way to do anything is to go to university and waste all of your money, I'm here to tell you that you do not have to do that. If you can live at home, which is what I did, which is what a lot of people have to do these days because no one can afford to move out. If you get a decent enough job and you can save money, then the world is your oyster. I honestly think that the path that I took to get me to where I am today, which I'll get to. I can't imagine doing it any other way. So I was able to work for years, and then it was only when I was in my early 20s that I thought that I would love to do something, like learn something. And it took me till that point, my early 20s, to realise that I didn't actually hate learning. I just hated the school environment. And that's what was a bit rubbish for me. And I actually loved learning. My job, I was learning loads of stuff and I was really enjoying it. I thought to myself, well, if I can learn stuff in real life, why do I have to go to university to learn stuff? So I had loads of money saved up and I went to Open University, which is like an online distance learning thing. And at the time, it was cheap. I mean, every year cost me maximum of £700, £720 a year. And I did 4 years. So when I first started, I just did like the foundation course for the creative side. So I wasn't sure whether I was going to go down the route of ancient history, which I loved, and I loved the idea of doing archaeology, except for the fact that I hate dirt and sand. So I quickly decided that I probably wasn't going to go down the archaeology route. But in my foundation course, I did like a creative writing, English, literature and language kind of thing, and I realised that I absolutely loved it. I've always loved books. I'm never not reading a book. I have always fallen into books as a way of like escapism, as we all do, and I was super obsessed with reading. And even at that point I didn't think about writing, so I just thought I'll go down the English, literature and language route because I liked learning about books and just literature in general. So I kind of followed that path, and then it came to a part in the course where there was a creative writing section, and it didn't even occur to me up until that point that writing was something that I loved. So we had to obviously do creative writing stuff, write short stories and all sorts, and I even wrote a screenplay, and I completely fell in love with writing. It was just something that had been missing for my entire life. It just seemed to fit into place amazingly. Like I've always been such an imaginative person. I've just always lived in my head, sometimes detrimentally, but mostly it's really just helped me in life with coping with things and not getting too stressed, because there was always fiction and just that escapism. So then for the rest of the degree that I was doing, I was able to, because you have quite a lot of options in Open University with which units you do to make up your entire course. So I managed to kind of navigate my degree mostly towards writing. Actually in 4 years, I did one exam in 4 years, and that exam like dragged my score, my overall score down, like probably dramatically. I can't really remember what I got, but so I managed to like wrestle my degree into this creative writing thing. And that year which I think was probably my third year in the degree. So keeping to the theme of the video, the third year of my university course was the first year that I partook in NaNoWriMo, which I've done plenty of videos on, and I will be doing a lot more videos this year about that as well. So stay tuned if you fancy. And that first year I wrote a full novel. And that was 10 years ago. And every year since then I have written at least one book a year. Which, if you had told teenage me that I would be doing that, I probably would have, well, I wouldn't have slapped you because that would just be a bit harsh, but I would have laughed in your face. I guess I wouldn't have thought that somebody who was like me, the way that my brain works and just the way that I am with learning and doing stuff, I never would have thought that I would be able to sit down and write a full book, let alone at least 10, because I've written books in between NaNoWriMo, because I generally am always writing something. Cut to now, I'm 36 years old and I have been writing for 10 years, like, and loving it and working towards getting published. I mean, aren't we all? But yeah, I guess I just thought that it was kind of not important to share this information, but maybe a little bit important, because I think some people think that you have to follow a particular trajectory to get to be a writer, or to get to having years of writing under your belt. And if I'm being honest, I don't think I would have done it if I hadn't have done my university course, but that's only because I am not somebody who thought that I could do anything like academic in a way, because writing is kind of academic. Yeah, I just didn't, I thought I was going to be a photographer. That was what I was gearing up for my life. That was always something that I wanted to do, and I always thought I was going to be a painter, and I found writing. And I think the important thing, this is what the kind of important thing that I wanted to share about this video is, it doesn't matter how you find writing. If it's for you, it's for you. And you don't have to be writing since you were a kid. You don't have to have done writing at school. I mean, certainly I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't done it, and I do plan on doing a lot more courses in writing, and I'll talk about that in future videos. But yeah, you don't have to follow a trajectory. You don't even have to follow a trajectory for life or for school. Everything tends to work out if you are just moving forwards and trying to figure out who you are as a person. And for me, figuring out who I was as a person was what led me to writing books and to finding a career that I want to continue with for the rest of my life, in whatever way, shape or form, whether that brings me money or not. But yeah, basically follow your own path and don't worry about anyone else. I just have to check my notes to see if I hit all my points, because I do ramble. Yeah, I mean, the last note that I put was there's no set path for creativity, and that is hugely what this video is about, as well as just being about little old me. I want it to be about little old you as well. I want you to, if you're watching this and thinking, oh, I'd love to be a writer but I don't know how, or like if I'm on the right path for it, I haven't been to school for it, whatever you're thinking. Oh, my coffee's almost gone. I really need to pee. Okay, so if you made it this far, and I managed to cut this video down because at the moment it's probably about 20 minutes long, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. If you are thinking about writing, whether you've written before or you're a seasoned writer, you're a newbie writer, or you've never written before and you want to get into it, I will be doing some NaNoWriMo stuff this year. Shocking. I have done NaNoWriMo stuff in the past. A lot of stuff is privated now, but I do have videos from last year, which is 4 videos on how to plan your novel leading up to Nano. And I will be doing videos about that this year too, but the main thing this year is I'm going to be doing live videos. I'm going to try and figure out how to do like live streams on YouTube, because I mean, live is like panic inducing. I could sweat thinking about it. But I will be doing live check-ins, and we'll be doing novel planning together live. So if you want to write a book this year and you never have, or you want to write a book this year and you do it every year, or you want to write a book this year and you always try but you never get through, then I am going to help you out. Because if I can do it, literally anybody can do it. And finally, book that I'm reading at the moment, I'm still reading The Demon World by Sally Green. I've been reading it for a couple of weeks now. I'm only just halfway through because I've been a little bit busy. But it's a really good book, and Sally Green is a fantastic writer. Highly recommend you pick up her first series, Half Bad. Just because why not recommend a book series to you. And stay tuned, next week we will be talking about how I manage my time between writing, working a full-time job and also running a small business on the side, because I like to take on too many projects at once. Yeah, so stay tuned, probably going to talk about that next week. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment about your writing if you're a writer, or if you're not a writer, just leave comments because it helps with the algorithm. Like this video, subscribe if you want to, and yeah, follow me in other places, Instagram and Twitter. I am at SamoRimo. I think it's funny. Nobody else thinks it's funny. Yes. Thanks very much. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.